You are welcome to Ogbo TV. My name is Apostle Gabriel Agbo Ilama. I'm here in the studio to engage you in the discussion on leadership. Today in Nigeria, we are facing a series of challenges ranging from economic to insecurity, education, and what have you, even in politics. But when you look at the situation, it seems as if nobody is doing anything to correct the situation. Why? Because we are here to discover where the problem all emanated from. And we can sincerely say that if we want to deal with the situation in our country, whether economic, political, and security-wise, they all boil down to the failure in leadership. Because without leadership, nothing can be rightly done. And that is why I am here in the studio to engage you in the discussion on leadership. Because leadership, the lead that determines the effectiveness of any leader. When leaders lack leadership, they will not be able to achieve anything meaningfully. That is why in Nigeria today, when you look at our leadership, starting from independence until today, Nigerians are still crying. Nigerians are still complaining. Nigerians are still wailing. Why? Because they are not yet seeing what they are expected. So that is why I consider it necessary to engage ourselves in discussion on leadership. And I will be talking on a particular topic of what makes somebody a leader. What makes someone a leader? In the country today, everyone is vying for the position of leadership. Everyone is vying for the position of leadership. But one thing that people fail to consider is their leadership ability. When you don't have leadership, no matter the position you are occupying, you are not a leader. If you don't have leadership, no matter your position, you are not a leader. You are only a leader when you have leadership. Where you are only a leader when you have leadership. What is leadership? Leadership is ability to lead. Ability to lead. Ability to navigate. Ability to direct. Ability to change a system. That is leadership. But nowadays we have people who get into leadership position by manipulation, by connection, by so many other means, through any other means. But when they get there, they hardly make major impact. They hardly leave any legacy. They hardly leave anything to show as their leadership impact. What is the reason? The reason is because they are lacking leadership. That is why someone like John C. Maxwell said that the higher you want to climb, the more you need leadership. He said that leadership is a lead that determines a leader's effectiveness. But in Nigeria today, many people want to be in leadership position, but they never consider their ability to lead. That is why we are having problem in the country today. So if you are a leader or you are a potential leader, you are dreaming of becoming a leader, the first thing you need to consider in yourself, do I really have the leadership ability? Do I really have the leadership ability? If you don't have the leadership ability, irrespective of your position, you are not a leader. Irrespective of your position, you are not a leader. If you don't have leadership, You are just a positional leader. You are just a positional leader. A leader should be someone that have influence. A leader is someone that have influence. In Nigeria today, when we talk about influence, people say that you can influence people in various ways. Therefore, in Nigeria today, when we talk about influence, the major means of influence we have in this country is money. That is the language everyone understands. So people use money to buy followership. But I want to tell you, if you don't have leadership and you influence people using money to buy followership, you will discover that you are not really a leader and the people will not really follow you. Why? Because they will not be able to learn anything meaningful from you. And when people could not learn anything meaningful from you, you will hardly raise a successor. You can hardly raise a successor when you are not able to influence people outside money. You will not be able to raise a successor. That is why in Nigeria today, we have problem of raising a successor. That is why in Nigeria today, we have problem of knowing what to do. Why? Because we don't have leaders. We don't have leaders. What we have today is positional leader. And I'm here to tell you, who is a leader? A leader is someone with the ability to lead. We say leadership is the ability to lead. But a leader is someone who have the ability to lead. Someone who can navigate. Someone who can direct. In Nigeria today, what we are lacking is someone who can navigate. Someone who can direct. People who can really identify where the nation desire to go. People who can identify what we need and who we need to get what we want to be done. That is the leader we are talking about. So if you are not of this quality, then know it that you are not a leader. You can get into leadership position by every means, but you cannot get followers through every means. You can only get followers if you have leadership ability. Your leadership ability is what will attract people to you. In this program, I will be discussing with you series of topics that will help you to know whether you are a leader or not. Therefore, I want to encourage you. Don't just vie for leadership position, but consider the quality, your leadership ability, whether you have it or not. If you get into high leadership position with low ability to lead, you will destroy your influence with that of the others. If you get into high leadership position with low ability to lead, you will destroy your influence with that of others. And that is why in Nigeria today, you will see that people are trying to force their opinion on others. Why? Because they don't have leadership capacity. They don't have the influence. They don't know how to influence others. When we talk about influence, we are not just talking about using money to buy followership. We are talking about the capacity to influence others inspirationally. The capacity to influence others inspirationally. You are able to influence people to do what is needed to be done without them seeing themselves being forced by you, without them seeing themselves being mandated by you. That is the only way you can say that you are a leader. But in Nigeria today, often Nigerians are seeing themselves being forced, being manipulated, being oppressed. Why? Because the people in leadership position, they lack influence. They lack the capacity to influence others inspirationally. So this time, I want to call your attention. Whether you are a leader in the family, in the school, in politics, in government, in any aspect of life, try to see if really you have the leadership ability. Try to see if really you can navigate. Try to see if really you can direct. Before you call yourself a leader, try to see what is your leadership capacity. This is what I want to share with you this morning or this hour. And this is what I bring on your table for you to think. If you want to lead, ask yourself, do I have leadership capacity? Many people have lead, many people have stayed in position, but they could not make impact. Not because they don't have the money, not because they don't have a way of gathering people, but because they don't have the capacity to influence others inspirationally. So please, I charge you today, before you vie for any leadership position, consider your leadership ability. Thank you. As you listen, may God bless you.